isn't this working? Okay. Are we live? Yes. Can't see any chat here. Okay. Just setting up if anyone out there can hear. Looks like there's one person watching on YouTube. Or that's Twitch. Okay. Boy, I hope this is all working fine. Well, I'm just going to go for this and see what happens here. Check, check, check. Wish there was a way I could see chats on all platforms. Okay. Just going to have to check in with each. Hopefully. Okay. Let's do this. I'm just going to start mixing away and working on wrapping this up. So let's start with drums. I find these drums a little boring. Sorry, still just double checking this is all working. Okay, let's just get to it. Hopefully this works. Okay, I want to work on these drums. They feel a bit boring. I think we're going to have to kill a few things here. That's not a good sign. This is going well here. Okay, having issues already. Well, let's just make sure our buffers up high is, don't have a whole lot running here. Okay. Let's maybe just kill a few things while we work on these drums, and then we can print them down. Maybe that's the way. Pads and guitars maybe we can get rid of. There we go. Much better. Okay. Finding that these two snares, I have sort of my like quote unquote live drums. This one here just feels boxy. Let's try EQing a bit out. It's a lot of this stuff I don't like. And it's something that like whispery kind of. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I like that a lot better. This snare has a bit of it too, so I think maybe it's the accumulation of both that's making it not the best. Maybe it's all this junk up here, yeah. Okay, what else can we kill here while we're working on drums? Maybe our effects. Seems to be moving a little smoother. That's cool. Okay. We had this snare like kind of gated verb, which I don't mind, but same thing, it's adding to that boxiness, I would say. I think I gotta get Chrome back up so I can at least see the chat here. I don't see anything right now. Okay. It's that like. Let's see if we can pull up the volume a bit. That's kind of nice. Active. Okay, we probably don't need that much of that gated snare verb. That's cool. Okay. Let's kind of create a bit of an image here. Sort this because it's boring. I'm going to use the retro color. give it a little bit of wobble. Our volume did increase though, so we should gain match. Our RMS increased big time, yeah. Oh. Uncle Chunky, hey buddy, how you doing? I can't see chat. This is good. This is my first time streaming to multiple platforms using a program called Restream, and oh boy. Hopefully everyone's getting this. I also need a better computer. Okay, so one thing I like to do here, I like to have mono sources pushed off to sides just to clear room in the image. And I like to bring them back by sending them to a stereo verb or a stereo delay. Yeah, like a big part of that is they only go into the middle from a wet source, which you can hear the delay a lot of. So they're still like the source sound is pushed off to the side, but the ambient parts of the sound is in the middle. Could use a little more wobble on this, I think, maybe. Still just the snare. You know, that snare kind of loses its mojo when I have the EQ in. So maybe we can focus on this one, just really getting rid of the... Oh, that's nice there, getting rid of that. Let me know how the sound is, Uncle Chunky. I did like a little test ahead of time, but hopefully you're getting Pro Tools audio and my voice. Maybe this just needs a top end reduction here. I'm going to overlay the other snare. That's kind of nice because it lets out a little bit of the crack from the other snare. Sure, we lost some volume there. Oh, not much. Excusez-moi. Okay. Okay, glad to hear the sound is good now. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was because I was trying to run just check on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok to make sure things are running. But I've got it all done in this restream. So hopefully it's good. We'll see. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm happy with this ARP. We can maybe distort it further. What else did we have here originally? Let's bring in this guitar. This might overload my system, but we'll print things down if we need to. There, that's cool. So same thing here. I've got the guitar on the left, and we've got these wet sources, so a delay and a verb, and those are stereo spread. Sometimes I like to send, like to have my sends at unity so that I'm sending full volume here and then just pull these faders back. Sometimes you get like a little crunch in certain plugins, which is nice. I think we could pump this guitar a bit more. Let's move it up to 40. God, I think generally speaking, these snares are too bright. At least for the kind of music I make. Maybe we just do a soft. Let's work with that. Oh boy. We don't hear sound. Okay. I see you bobbing your head, but there's no sound. Okay, let's try to fix that issue. Thanks for letting me know. Why would that be? Okay, should have sound now. It looks like I can see it on my meters anyway. We can take the RC and kind of get a little bit of that wobble on this side too. Ooh, I don't like that as much. Yeah, I'm not digging that. Let's get rid of that plug-in. Put a bit of chorus on this to make it a little more interesting. Okay, we got music now. Great. Ooh, chorus is kind of cool. Maybe just the one. The verb here on the ARP. It's a little touch on the wobble for me now that I hear that. Okay, I think I'm going to print those two down just to free up some bandwidth here. And while I do so, just double check everything's working here. Which it seems to be. Okay. Twitch seems to be working. Yeah, I find that in this genre, it's tough to like get the guitar to fit when it's like fully like no filter, nothing. It's just full the full range, full frequency range. It just kind of sits in this like weird space for this genre. So I'll maybe show you once it finishes printing, I'll show you kind of what I did there. A lot of it is just like a low pass and a high pass filter. Just so it sort of sits back as like this texture that's more appropriate with like kind of lo-fi synthwave and whatnot. Okay. Okay. So that's ARP1. Oh, we already have a track called down, I guess. Let's get rid of that. And this is our new ARP1. Okay, and then as for the guitar here, so just gonna pull back up the one I was recording onto. So I'm sure, yeah, this EQ kind of says it all. Like we're cutting off. So we're doing a low pass at basically 1700 hertz and a high pass at 423. So it's really tucked into this mid-range, which can lead to problems if you're not careful. Obviously, that can really cause some swelling and accumulation in that area. But what else have I done? Other than that, it's just some limiting, LFO. I'm sending to this verb and this delay. And I'm slightly LFOing both of those, but not too heavily. But it's pretty straightforward. Everything's running a little slower today. Okay. Apparently we're seeing the same fixed screen. Oh boy. Okay, I am working on it. Boy, I don't know about this restream thing. Okay, I'm on YouTube and it seems to be working. Well, I see the cam is working, but the Pro Tools, but the desktop is not updating. Fun. Okay. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, I see that it was stuck. I'll kind of keep an eye on that. Boy, this is working through issues like crazy. Thanks for letting me know, dude. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I think we've solved that. Okay, so to me it sounds like this bass could use a little bit of room. I wonder if we have a bit of frequencies that need to be addressed here. Conflicting frequencies out of the ARP. It's not really a whole lot of overlap. Maybe I'll just trim off this low end stuff. A bit bright too. Start lo-fiing this a little bit. That feels more like it. Okay, I'm going to assume that these are the kicks I'm going to stick with. I still do this pretty hacky way of doing side chains for kick and snares. I'm just going to give them a 10 millisecond look ahead, just manually. Oops. Zoom out a bit. Okay, there we go. So these two channels, kick SC and snare SC, just stands for side chain. Those are going to go out to a few different locations, but mostly I have these on the buses. I have these Soothe plugins ready to go that just follow those frequencies, and then essentially cut them out 10 milliseconds ahead of time for the other instruments, so that the kick and snare have room. Yeah, let's keep going here. Okay, let's bring in our pads. I don't remember what we did there. Let's check it out. I did print this down. As far as finding inspiration for these melodies, you know, I wish I had a good way of describing it. It's mostly like, I don't know, I've just been doing this for so long that it's kind of like riding a bike. I don't know. I definitely have like a flavor. Like, I know I can hear my melodies. I can pick them out anywhere. In a busy mall, I could pick them out. You know, where you can hardly hear it. So it's like a taste thing, and like there's patterns that you start to reuse. I have this pattern. Where's my guitar? I don't know how well you can hear this over the stream, but I have this pattern where in a pentatonic scale, I like to like go down stepwise. Just as an example, I do that a lot, and you can hear it in a lot of my songs. Like the main melodies will have those types of intervals, but yeah, I don't know. I've just been doing this for so long that I don't really think too much about it. I'm just kind of like, when I'm searching for a melody, I'm just looking for a feeling. It depends what chords are under it. I wish it was more of an active thing that I could describe, but it just kind of is a feeling. I know that kind of is the lamest answer you could get, but yeah. Oh, those pads are bright. Okay, cool. I was not expecting that. Just gently. I think we can get rid of this chunk because that's going to battle the bass. Okay. Let's just hear how that interacts with the bass. Okay, that's getting a little bit of... It's not too bad, but you have to thin that out a touch. seems to be interacting. Wouldn't mind getting a little bit of movement on this. So I think what I'll do is I'll use an effect rack, and I'll use the Pan Man from Sound Toys, which is a pretty simple tool, just pans back and forth in different patterns. This is Pro Tools. I honestly, I would not recommend Pro Tools. I think that, it depends on the genre. I know I get razzed all the time for being an electronic producer, even though I'm sort of an electronic producer, not really. I get razzed all the time for using Pro Tools. I'm just stuck with it because I've been using it for 25 years now, since I was a teenager, and I'm 39 now. And I'm just used to it. So anytime I go anywhere else, I have such a hard time, like, I don't know, just things that I normally do are hard to do. So I just go right back to Pro Tools. So I'll say this. I think Logic, I know a lot of people use Logic. Logic is better for moving quick, and I find for production ideas. But, and also for MIDI and whatnot. But editing audio in Logic, to me, is my worst nightmare. So that brings me back to Pro Tools if I'm editing audio, which I always am. I don't do pure MIDI, I don't think, in any tracks I do. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that keeps me there is the audio editing. I find just so superior. So, okay, let's see if we can sneak in this Pan Man effect. Follow the rhythm. Oh, that's way too fast. Okay, I'll mix it in. Yeah, I just want it to be subtle there. I might actually throw a bit of verb after. Sometimes I like to do panning a little bit. Throw a verb after, and what the verb will do is kind of, whenever it moves, let's say it moves off to the left from my perspective, then the right side will kind of be filled with like a wet ambient sound, and then vice versa. When it moves off to the right, then the left is kind of filled with ambient sound. So just gently, because if you do it full mix, it basically reduces the Pan Man effect to 0. But let's blend this in. Yeah. 25 years, yeah. It's crazy how much music production has evolved. It's insane. It's hard to even describe. So let's use a plate. I like using this dirty plate in 80s sound. Maybe a little longer. Gotta really cut off the low though. That's cool. Bit of left and right movement, but still you can feel like an ambient texture. This could obviously get overdone if everything's got too much reverb. I'm sure I'm going to dial it back at some point, but yeah. Let's keep going. Still a little thick. I think it's going to be battling the bass. I might just move this EQ after everything. Go higher on the frequency but more gentle on the slope. That's nice. I'm sure we lost a lot of volume, yeah. A lot of dynamics too, so we may want to just normalize that. Just throw a limiter on it because I'm lazy, and it works every time. I can see I'm going to have to print this down pretty quick. Okay, cool. Let's take a little breather and print that down before my system gets overloaded here. Yeah, probably shouldn't take too long. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that Valhalla vintage verb. I think it's like the only reverb I use. It has like a million different types of verbs and sounds. Not a million, but like a million different combinations. So it's so useful. Yeah. Just wait for that to finish. Make sure everything is still streaming properly. Looks like it. Okay. Pad has been printed. I use a little naming technique where usually if I still have the MIDI out, I'll put an underscore just to show that that hasn't been printed. If I do more work and I need to print it, I'll do 2 underscores. So if you ever see that, that's what that means. Yeah, I think especially with the reverb mixed with this LFO, add a lot of pulse. Now, having said that, one of the tricky parts about this song is that the drums are not like a classic 4 on the floor for this genre. So it's a little trickier to get the pumping right. Boy, I kind of like that. Let's just kill the live drums for a second. As for how long it takes me to finish a track, I would say between 6 and 12 hours. Sometimes more, very rarely less than 6 hours. I would say average is like 8 or 9. Yeah, just I don't know. It depends on the track. Sometimes the track just like fights you, and you it just like doesn't go your way, and it just, I don't know. It happens sometimes, but yeah, I feel like generally speaking, it's I don't know. I would say between 6 to 12 hours, averaging 8. I would say it's hard to keep track because like the last stage is like I'll listen to my car, I'll listen while I'm out for a hike or something, and I might make like a 5-minute tweak. So I never keep track of that part, but so it's a best guess. Yeah. Okay, I like where this is sitting. doing this one section, however. But at least we can just get kind of the tones ready. Okay, let's check out this wub. See how this fits. Ooh, okay. Okay, I don't like that up the middle, so yeah, like it. Sometimes it just happens in one day, but I rarely feel that confident where I'm like, yeah, it's done. You know, it's and I also don't trust myself that quickly. Like I prefer coming back to it the next day and seeing how I feel about it. Because like sometimes two things I find it's almost always two things. One is you finish it, you love it. Next day you come back and you're like, what did I do? And then the opposite where it's like you absolutely hated it and you come back the next day or maybe a couple days later and you're like, oh, I kind of like this. Like, I'll be honest, I did not like this when we finished the last live stream. I was like, this isn't my vibe. I don't know. But it's nice to hear it on fresh ears because I'm like, okay, I could see how I was like, this is not my vibe, but it's closer. Yeah. Oh, you love this sound. Okay. I just don't know where I'm going to put it. You know what? I think it feels better on the left. It's probably because we have a synthy sound on the right, so let's put it on the left. Maybe not that far. What we could do maybe, I don't usually like doing this, and this will negate everything we just did on the pad, but we could put the pad down into mono and move it off to the right so that this one can live on the left. Okay, I don't mind that. Let's hear that with everything. I want to push them a little further out. Maybe like 65% each. Interesting. Okay. Okay, I'm going to commit this sound because I don't mind it. This looks like a second attempt at... So let's just commit to here. Okay, great. Yeah. It's still, the snare's still bugging me a touch, but I think it's the final bus compression that I need to adjust to just kind of smack it down. But I think the kind of source sound I'm kind of happy with now. So, well, glad to hear it's feeling good. Where is this coming from? I can't seem to, I got this weird button on top here, and I can't seem to get rid of my, there we go, close window. Minimize. I will do that for now. gotta trim a bit of top off this because it's popping out. Yeah, just gentle. Might help. I'm unsure about that pad thing, but well, okay, if we bring it up in volume, it's actually kind of nice. Yeah. Okay, kind of want to just focus on drums for a minute here. Okay, we've got these kind of real sounding hats, which I think are... There's some timing issues here. Apparently loading the MIDI window is going to crash Pro Tools for me. Our first Pro Tools crash. Oh, no, we are good. Okay. Let me just check the timing here. Yeah, right there. Cool. Okay, I imagine that's going to be the same as up here. So what's the best way for us to do this? Can I just copy this and then go like this? Just going to have to find that one note, I think. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's keep going on that. I had this setting here from before with the retro. I don't think that's the vibe. down slow here. Okay, let's try this again. That's more the sound I'm looking for. Oh, I like this. This is nice and sharp. Crispy. Having said that, that's not sitting in the mix too well, so. I just gotta bring it down. Let's bring out a lot of room sound. And maybe with this one, since this one's a little more tight, on it a bit more. We should also kind of smash it so that it's pretty stable. We're going to run out of CPU here pretty quick, so just kind of get this balanced. Okay, I think I'm good with that sound, so let's just print these quick, and then that should clear up some bandwidth. Okay. Okay, and while that's happening, I'm just going to check in on all the streams. Okay, Twitch looks good. YouTube looks good. And I have no idea what's going on TikTok. Streaming on TikTok. All right. Anyway. So those both printed. So let's just kind of balance them in. just work on just the live drums for a minute. How are we doing on the way in? Okay, we're coming in a little low, so. I think our kick's a hair woofy. Tighten it up. Oh, my dude. Hey, Jordan. What's up? Let me know how this sounds, dude. I'm using a new program, Restream, to live stream to Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, and it's been an experience. Let's just say that. Yeah. What I'm trying to do here is using a DIN meter, which is kind of, I suppose, a metering that responds to transients a bit more. Bit quicker ballast or ballistic, whatever it's called, ballast. So I'm trying to get this to come in at 0 DIN. And that gives us the opportunity to... Okay, crisp sound. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know, dude. Looking forward to our session on Thursday. So yeah, this, once we get in at 0 DIN, if anything, my mic needs to be a bit louder. Okay, let me crank that up. I do have it down a touch, so I'll bump it up 2 dB. We'll see if that works. Okay. So I've got this kind of ridiculous chain here of tape and compression. So we're going through a Studer for a little saturation. I think let's pull these other ones out. And I don't think I'm going to use these other ones. These other three I typically use for like effects and filtering. But since we have multiple kits, I'm going to probably do that on the final out. So let's get rid of those. Okay. So the Studer should reduce the dynamics a little bit. Okay, I think we're going to go a bit further. Sometimes if you overdo it, you can reduce the punchiness, I find. But that feels pretty good. Yeah, I think that gives it a little energy. God Particle is, I love on drums. Same idea, just gives it a little limiting. I love the way what that does to the kick. It brings out like a mid frequency. Oh, it's right here. Ooh. That helps me out for sure. I think we could actually go further. Okay, awesome. Thanks for letting me know on the mic. I guess it depends how close I am to the mic. Okay. So, and then I've been using Neutron 5's clipper lately. Now the thing is, with this balance, it's mostly just clipping the kick. Did I see some weird automation go in this? Looks like there's a volume trim automation. Okay. Let's just get rid of this thing entirely. Let's see. If we clip hard enough to get some snare. Well, that's not bad, actually. I was worried that would kind of destroy. You know what? I guess it is kind of getting both. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Now we're a little under, so we got to gain it up by, it looks like 0.6. So 1.6. Oops. 0.6, 1.6. Okay, we're back at 0. Let's see what our chain does so far. Yeah. I think that brings a ton of life. And last, just a good old-fashioned limiter. I don't like to do too much here, just kind of the clipper, shave a little off the top end, or kind of like the clipper. Get a little ridiculous with these metering, but I just want to make sure I'm hearing things at the same volume. So a lot of it is the saturation, the compression, etc., the clipping, all reduces the dynamic range. So the perceived loudness is higher, obviously. Why are we not playing? Oh, we start at the beginning. Now that we're here, I think we could bump these cymbals up a touch. Yeah, I like that. That's got a lot more life. Okay, what is this? The long verb and then the toms. I don't know if we're going to use the toms, so we'll just get rid of that for now. Okay, I think I'm going to commit those drums for now, just because those eat up a lot with all those plugins. Shouldn't take too long, hopefully. Okay. You know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to go to the washroom because I have an old man bladder. And I made this, or got this little sign. Okay, I'll be right back. Check, check. There we go. Now we're back. Okay. Let's make sure we have audio here. Oh, yeah. Looks like we're good. I don't know where my BRB went. Oh, went behind. Okay. I just saw that comment from Uncle Chunky. Well, to be fair, I have the headphones on, right? So it's like extremely detailed in here, but I think that's a big thing with production and mixing is like it's the accumulation of subtle changes. So you just kind of get used to hearing those little things, I guess. Can't hear the difference. Okay, let's do the same thing with these drums. Let's get a bit of a balance going on. So we are coming in a little low. I'm sure that's because of the EQ here. Yeah. So let's boost this up a touch. So I'm pretty anal with gain staging just because it's less about the gain staging itself. Like, to be honest, I don't care too much about whether or not something's gained at a proper level. It's more that I can hear the difference, and I'm not biased towards a sound that's louder. Although that isn't. This kick wasn't properly gain staged before, but anyway, whatever. So I want things to be around 0 so I can always compare properly. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on this bus. I had a couple plugins there for like effects and filters, but I'm going to, if I do anything, I'm going to do that on the all drums bus. Again, some weird automation happening. Sorry, I just got to fix some naming, otherwise I'm going to go crazy. I'd like to hear a little more snap on that. I wonder if I can get it out of an 1176 maybe. Ugh, I don't love that, but I think no, when I hear them together, it's good. Or at least where I like it. I guess I'll let the audience decide if it's good. Sounds like this LFO is a little hot. I think I'm happy with that. Not sure yet. But what we do need to do is, so both these drums are coming into like an all drums bus, and that bus is getting crushed. So let's bring it down 4 dB. here. Just a hair of limiting. Oh, thank you, dude. Yeah. Slowly come together. I think the snares are still a little present. Okay, I'm going to leave the drums there for now. Yeah. I think... oh, what happened here? I never actually did the... missed the stage. Okay, I'm not going to leave the drums there. Those are coming in good. The samples I'd never finished processing them, just the bus. So let's just go through these one by one. So similar thing, just going to be saturating, shaving off a little dynamics for some volume, some crunch. Also some glue, just kind of, I find just glues it together. Oh, I think I prefer it without God particle. I'm going to disable that. Limiter sounds nice, so... From empty to everything. So yeah, let's just commit these drums for now. I have a feeling I'm gonna need to tweak them a bit more, but that'll work. I need a better computer. Okay. Now that we have those two, let's just do the final. What do we want to call that? All right. Let's rename this one as drums underscore. So we can call the printed one drums. That limiter actually is nice. It's coming in a little hot, but I'm working with I've got a MacBook Air right now, like a 2020. So, oh boy, is it struggle city. Yeah, I need to upgrade, but my goodness, those laptops are getting expensive. It's cool. I'm going to bring my effects channels back in. Well, yeah, I've got like everything cleared off. I'm like running this session as lightweight as possible, as you can see. So yeah, like I don't actually have that many plugins running. Basically what you see is what you get. So I think that's a big reason why it is working. Okay, I just want to iron out some of these transitions that we had from before. Oh, we lost our, I think maybe was that this stuff? Yeah. See if this automation holds. Hopefully. I like that intro. Damn. That is a happy accident. I was not expecting that. Ooh, yeah. I don't have a song that starts like that. That's great. Wonder if, sorry, I'm starting to zoom out here, but I wonder if actually that pad can really go off in the distance on that section. And maybe we can give it a bit of a resonant spike. There. Let's see if this one will work. Might need a bit of a up and down on the crash. We'll do something similar. Enjoy high pass, low pass filters. Yeah, I enjoy both. Yeah, either or. Okay, might do something similar on the guitar on this B section. Could use like Filter Freak or something, but I just like using EQs to do filter sweeps and automation. It's fine. I can customize more. Maybe to make this section a little more interesting, I'll just pull out the low end just for maybe these last two kicks and basses. Oh, but I committed the drums like a dummy. Well, I could always just cut the bottom for a moment. Maybe we'll do that. I like cutting bottom as a way to create like almost a breath before a transition. I think I'm going to have to go back and touch that up, but get rid of those kicks. It's kind of interesting like that. Let me see if I can make that work with some other transitional elements. Maybe, yeah, some of these risers. I really should get some new ones. I just reuse these on every song. Let's just see how that feels from the intro. These drums are a little hot, but I'm gonna need a lead in there of some kind, but I think that pad also has got to move to the middle. If we're going to do it in mono, it's got to move to the middle for that section. Or at least closer to the middle. And I think we got to have yet another stereo verb. So pad verb. So I'm keeping it super wet at the beginning, but maybe to offset it, I'll bring it down. Well, maybe not that much. Let's go like 6 dB or something. And then I'll have the pad slowly increase in volume. Ooh. You know what though? I kind of miss just what we had before, which was just tight. I think maybe I do the verb only on this A section, not the intro. Yeah, there's something cool about that, even though I gotta bring the volume back up. The drums have a lot of space there. Yeah, and that transition has to be way more exciting, but okay. Okay, let's see if we can, if making the verb, making it super wet in that section helps. I don't mind it, but I wonder if this filter's too heavy now. if we can take that guitar and do the effect. Where's this verb coming from? Okay, we've got this guitar. What if we take this, put it in the intro? I think that really rounds out the left and right. We filter a little harder though. Sometimes it's nice to increase the Q as you go because you get away from kind of the lower mid-range and you get up into the higher frequencies. So you see this resonant spike just kind of grow. Now I think actually in this case we can take that pad and put it all the way out to the left. Let's send it a little verb to it. And then try it all the way out to the right. That's nice. That gives the drums some room. Now, having said that, that means that the next section might not feel bigger because it can't get any wider. Let's try the opposite way. Let's pull the guitar in. Okay, so let's get rid of that verb. Okay, so we're back to where we were. And this pad is at 75%, so let's do guitar at 75% just to match. I think that's going to be it, yeah. Okay, and I think to help make the next section feel bigger, let's turn the drums down on the intro. Maybe 2 dB. Could also add a little plate at the beginning on the drums. Not too much though. Snare really pops out. That might be too much. of open up a bit more there, but oh, that's the sound we printed though. I think that might be where a lead comes in, but coming together, yeah, coming together. I'm still just not happy with a few of these transitions here. I think I gotta modify the drums a touch. I'm happy with this though. This is I haven't thought of a title yet. What I often do, sometimes I'll come up with it before, but I don't know. Sometimes I just think about like the feeling I get. Since these tracks don't have vocals yet, it's mostly just like feeling based. I don't know. This one's kind of uplifting and I don't know. I'm not sure yet. And so far I've had super nerdy, spacey, universe, cosmology. I guess, cosmology. I was thinking cosmetology for a second. Futuristic kind of stuff for titles, but I don't know. Not too sure yet. Okay, let's give that ARP a little movement there too. Just a constant lo-fi-ing, I guess. Lo-fi-ing. Pan this around at the beginning, and I'm going to do so with just a classic triangle automation. I never use this, but for some reason I feel compelled. I hate it, so I'm not going to do that. What we'll do instead is just shoot it out to a verb so it really washes it across everything. And bring it down. Messy. Something moody about that. I wonder if it's just a volume issue. Okay, Pro Tools, what's going on here? What? That the pad and the ARP both have verb, it might be just getting too much. So let's just pull them both back. Getting to be too much. to get somewhere. Oh, I'm obsessing over this intro, but okay. I think the issue is the drums, so we got to unwind that stuff. Because I need access to the individual kick, snare, hat sounds that we had. So hopefully this doesn't cause us to explode here, but. Looks like we're okay. Okay, let's disable those for a second. Okay, now let's go in. We don't need these MIDI tracks anymore. So I'm just going to get rid of a couple things here. I find sometimes when you just get rid of the kicks, like the bottom end, it helps the transition. Maybe we have that last one so it follows the bass. Or last two. So I'm just essentially, I want to hit this with the bass and then cut the ones after that and the snare as well. I think that might help give us a bit of like momentum in the A section. Yeah, that's cool. That helps me big time. Okay. Just going to put fades on these so there's no clicks and pops. Okay, where are you coming from here? I don't know why this is happening, but ARP1, I guess. I can't close my plugin windows. I have to do it here, so. And I have these on the buses. I have these little plates set up. What I do is I'll just, as soon as it pops up. So I have the low cut up to 1K. And I have them at 0 mix. So what I can do is, if I want to thin something out, but I don't want to like have it, like I don't want to mute it, I can just mix in this verb, and then it'll thin it out because I've done so here, but it'll provide some air. So let's just see what that does for the guitars. Maybe actually just keep that going since we're, actually, reverb's going to come through there. Yeah, so just kind of thins it out a bit. See what that does with the transition. It's also this, there's something in this effects, these risers that's bugging me. Maybe we do this. We rise up to that point. Oh, it's garbage day. Don't mind the garbage truck if you can hear that. I don't know. I kind of want to kill that last one. Let's see what that sounds like with the drums following. That doesn't excite me as much for some reason. I'm just going to unwind that. here on the pad. Pad can really clutter things up, so let's maybe do that. It's still this riser thing. Let's just actually copy this plugin down to the riser's bus. Oh, hey, babe. That's interesting. It's too obvious now. I think the guitar's got to be muted. Yeah, that's cleaner to me. I'm gonna stick with that. I'll just kill the little play. I'm just doing too much of this. It's not sounding right to me. That's not sounding right either. Maybe if we just fade this a bit. That's getting closer. Maybe I overdid it with that stuff. Which one is doing that? Is that better? That might be better. Man, this transition is just pushing back. I think that's my favorite so far. Starting to obsess over the little details here. I'm going to listen to this intro in A section once, and then I'm going to move on just to clear my head. Okay. Holy, this one is pushing back on me hard. It's getting there. It just feels a little bit not as exciting as I want. I'm not getting a lot of feeling from it, so I think that transition is okay. Maybe we got our filter's pretty open there on the pad. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to go heavy back into production mode here because I just need the stuff I'm working with here is not getting me what I want. That's already open. I wonder if I can get away with some of my bus compression. That might help start gluing things together. I'm just going to put on one of my maximizers, if I can. Oh boy. Pro Tools crash coming up. What do we got? Oh no, we did it. Okay, it's going to get louder for everybody. So let me check my input levels for DIN and VU for the mix bus. So yeah, it's gonna get louder probably from here on out, assuming this works. I had my output up 7, probably because we didn't have any of that bus compression on, so should be about the same volume now. Yeah, definitely louder. You know what? Maybe I need to work on this part and make it exciting. And then I work backwards from there. I'm going to see if I have enough to do a lead. Because, where's this one coming from? The out? Yeah. Yeah, we need something here. I think I had something last time and I just wasn't happy with it. So we'll see. What do I even have up here? What in the world is this? Boy, that's an interesting sound. I will say when I first pulled that up and it's super distorted, I was like, oh my lord. But the more I play with it, the more I'm like, I think this could work. It sounds, it needs like filtering and whatnot, but I think it could work. I think I got a melody. Let's see what happens here. Oh boy. Just trying to find it. I'm trying different patterns. Not quite happy yet. Cheers, Uncle Chunky. Thanks for hanging out. I'm just going to move the one note I didn't like in there. Okay, let's see what this sounds like with the verb. It's going to get wild. Okay. Let's give it a little quantized because, well, let's do 80% because I can't play in time. distortion coming from? Ah, there. Still one note that I should maybe make it a little tighter. Maybe it's not so bad. Oh, very nice. You have 2 filters on this. Okay, that definitely helps. I felt like that was pretty boring without that little layer. Wonder if I should give it a little more like pitch wobble. Looks like it has some. Pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna commit that. Let's see how that all flows together. On the top. Oh, I just love how the low end is like spongy. That's cool. I have no idea how that happens. There's gotta be room for some kind of lead here. Also, I think the snares, hearing this on fresh ears, the snares generally are a little hot in this section. Let's pull them down by 2 dB. That lead is fine. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank Thank you on Twitch. First comment on Twitch. Sweet. Good to know that's working. Yeah, that feels a little smoother. Just like... I could go even further. It's probably because there's nothing really happening there yet. I'm going to have to put something there. I don't know if I like that ARP, but... it's just kind of empty. So maybe that's why the snare is feeling a little out, but whatever, let's keep going. Okay, so then here the focal point can be... now that we have that, I wonder, now that we have that lead, I wonder if this guitar actually moves back. This is going to screw my automation up, but if I do this, if I copy this whole thing and I go like this, okay, let's hear how this goes into the lead. Now the only thing is if the song starts with the guitar and then it keeps filtering, that could be a little repetitive. So maybe instead we could start with the lead. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to try filtering it further, just a separate one to keep it simple. Oh, yeah, I love that. Okay. Classic guitar ruins everything. Get cool synths in there. Okay, so I'm just going to balance that with the pad. The pad is panned 75% left. So let's do 75 for this lead. Now we're going to, on this EQ that I'm using as a filter, I'm just going to bring it totally up here, but we're going to sweep it upwards, and we need to modify the Q. I don't want it to start too high with the Q, because then we'll just get this accumulation of low mids, which is never fun. Heavy on the handed on the filter. that's cool because now the lead synth and the guitar are kind of like taking turns a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Let's see if we can move this guitar more in the middle. Guitar is that far in the middle, it feels weird when it shoots off to the side. So let's go a little easier on that. And we can maybe gradually bring it up. That way it has a bit smoother of a transition. To admit, I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done building yet there. I don't know. That's getting kind of long for like a first chunk of the song. Let's see. I'm totally happy with this. Maybe I just got to bring in like a there's got to be some like heavy synth or something that pushes us forward or something. It just feels like it's lacking a little energy here. I mean, it could be because the guitar is cutting out. So maybe if we do this, that should help. I don't know, they battle each other though. Let's go back and get rid of that, and maybe let's record a really big saw pad or something like that. Ooh, I want serum 2. Okay, yeah, let's just start with something simple. Okay, let's add a bunch of voices. Let's add another shape. Let's do something like maybe a Juno. Where's that Juno here? I like that. Same thing, add a bunch of voices. Whew, that is intense. Let's gain stage that. My goodness. Oops. Okay, so we need to make sure that's coming in around 0 VU. Nowhere near. Okay, good. Let's add some noise. Let's do noises. I like this HP12 white noise maybe. And let's add a touch of filter with envelope 2. Not going to be doing much. Maybe we could actually just match this other wave. Well, we'll leave it open up the way. And we can add this to our mod wheel. Let's try this out. So all the way down. Both of those, both oscillators, and should we add a little less of this noise, maybe like 5% is okay. Okay, I like where that's going. Now let's use one of our chaos oscillators to do a little pitch modulation. And I like doing it nice and slow, especially on pads. And oops. And just a touch. Like let's maybe do 10%. Could go further. It's not that noticeable. Let's go 15% on each. Maybe even 20. Okay. Let's start there. See what this sounds like. This gives it a bit of energy. Okay, let's have a look at recording that. Sounds like a bit of a mess right now, but I'll try to ride it. Oh no! Let's try that again. Maybe for now I'll just reduce the voices because that's a lot. We'll go down to like 6, and 6 should be plenty. Okay, here we go. Okay, good enough. Good enough. Let's see. Now, for these ones, I'm going to give them a full quantize because this is a texture and I want it to be perfectly in time. So they should be 16. No, I think they'll be changing. Okay, let's see. Oh, and we should send this to our pads bus, which means it's going to get louder. Okay, and then I just got to gain stage it. It's a little low for now for some reason. Oh, probably because of the voices. Yeah, and it's going to crap out on me. I just need enough to get the volume here. A little quiet. Let's bump it up a bit. Oh, it's getting dry here. Okay, let's print that down. I think that's good. Now it is a little bright, even though that's kind of what I wanted. But I think we can soften it in a couple ways. Actually, maybe first we put it through a verb to soften it. I do want the energy, but it's a little aggressive. That does help. Okay, let's see how that transition feels. back quite a bit. I think that's feeling pretty good. I'm going to be running out of time here right away. Let's just see what we got. Cool. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it at that for today. I got to finish this track very quickly, if I'm going to make it, if it's going to make it on my record. I think there's lots of cool stuff happening. Probably what's going to end up happening is the back half of the track, I'm going to kind of copy the structure. What I do is I like to copy the structure and then tweak it from there to make it interesting the second listen through. But I think we're well on the way. I'm going to put some more work on this tonight. But for now, I got to go coach some hockey. So I'm going to end the stream. Thanks to everyone who came out and watched and hung out for a bit. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one.